if you look to the statement given on 518 or for problem 518, end bearing and end bearing on rock pile foundation. Piles, as you know, we can talk. I think we have section talk about piles. It's coming later on. Piles are deep foundation, as you know, a deep foundation. And the pile normally will go to the rock or hard rock layer where the pile will be sitting. Okay, the tip of the pile on the hard rock. This is the best scenario because the load coming from the building, the multi-story building, we need the load or the load to be transferred all the way to the, it's called end bearing, because there are two ways that the load can be resisted: end bearing or shaft, along the shaft. It's called the skin friction resistance. So skin friction resistance. These two are, so the end bearing, this is the best. To support a new bridge, the bottom of the pile cap will be an elevation. When we drive the piles, we put something is called a pile cap, which is a slab that will contain all the piles. It's called a pile cap. So there is another pile here and so on. I'll just draw only one. This is called the pile cap. Okay. It's concrete and we put reinforcement and it has a design. And the pile has to be embedded into a pile cap, certain depth. So the elevation of the bottom of the pile cap, this elevation here is 980. Pile splices will not be allowed. So the pile must be one continuous pile, no splices. We don't allow splices at all. The pile embedded in the pile cap 1 foot. So this here, from here to here, is 1 foot. The pile is going to be embedded in the pile cap 1 foot. A maximum of 2 foot or 2 feet cut off due to driving damage is anticipated. When they drive these piles into the soil, there are two methods, more than one, two methods for the time being: driven piles or augered pile, okay, where you can drill a hole and put the concrete and put the reinforcement and put the material, or precast the piles and drive it. Okay, so they are anticipating, because of the hammer that will push the pile into the ground, it will damage a portion of it. They are saying that they are expecting that a maximum of 2 feet. So when they drive the pile, because of the hammer, and we're going to see equation, by the way, a series of equations. So portion of this, because the hammer is coming from a certain height on the machine, and they drop it to push this pile into the ground. So we are expecting some damage to happen to the pile itself. And they are expecting 2 feet. Based on the subsurface exploration, here it is log, shown the minimum pile length. I need to determine how much the pile length will be, L. Because this is, it will be precast. So I'm losing 2 feet here, and I have 1 foot here, and he gave me the elevation of the bottom of the pile cap. What I'm looking for from this complicated chart, if you flip the page, you will find this is a boring log. This is a boring log. Okay, a lot of information. But if we understand our concept, or if we understand or recall, I know you understand recall, that the best scenario for any pile is to be resting on a rock layer. So if I am able to locate the rock rail here, where is the rock? Okay, and this is the top of the rock. Here it is. So far, so good. So the top of the rock is what? What is that? 60.5 what? Okay. 60.5 feet. Okay, so right now we know that. This is one piece of information that we need to know in order to be able. What about the surface elevation? Surface elevation is 990. And as you can see here, we can spend some time probably if you would like me to. But this is a little bit complicated or very crowded. It's not complicated, it's crowded. I don't know why they give such thing. But so if I know right now the OG is 990. Okay, this is the original ground. The OG is 990. So if the original ground is here, let's assume the OG is somewhere here. And this 990. And he said that the depth from here to here, how much is that? When we hit the rock layer, how much is that? 60.5 feet. And the bottom of the pile cap is 980. That means that from here to here is what? This is 981. Is this correct? And if this is 990, and I will go down 60.5 feet, what is the elevation with respect to this? 990 minus 60.5. 990 minus 60.5. This will give you 929.5. Are you following me? So right now, if I know this elevation here at the top of the pile into the pile cap, and if I know the elevation here, so I need the length of the pile, length of the pile. This is one way, you can do it more than one way, by the way, is equal to 981 minus 929.5 plus 2. What's 2? 2 feet that will be damaged. This is the damaged. So in this case, hopefully that we can get something like this. So 929, 981.0 minus. So this is 51.5 feet plus 2 will give me 53.5 feet. This is a 2 feet. So probably 55, probably my best answer, which is the minimum length. Because it's asked what is the minimum. The word minimum is very important.